All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Natty Teacher. I am, of course, your host, who else but the Natty Teacher. And today, post-Thanksgiving, it is Black Friday. Maybe some of y'all are out there shopping, getting some deals, hopefully. Hopefully it's on fitness-related things. Maybe equipment, maybe supplements. I don't know, stuff like that, man. Do it up, do it up, do it up. You know, get those deals, man, get those deals. But I am on my way to the gym. We got legs, specifically quads. The way I have it split up right now, and this is my plan for the foreseeable future, just based on equipment availability and also just based on what I feel like my body responds the best to where I'm not overly exhausted on either part of the leg, is to split it between a little bit of hamstrings, mostly quad workout, and then I flip it. Where it's a little bit of quads, mostly hamstrings and glutes, which will be my secondary leg workout, which for me, today's Friday, that leg workout will be on Wednesday. So, 5 days? Yeah. Or 6 days. That's sixth day, 5 days in between. It'll be on that sixth day. So, still hit legs twice within a 7-day period. That's perfect. That's exactly where I want to be. It's not every 3 days, mind you, but I just like to hit every muscle group twice within a 6 to 7 day period. If I can do that, I am successfully hitting the frequency that I feel like my body responds to pretty well, and I can see it on my physique right now. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm full as a house right now from having a big old Thanksgiving meal last night. I didn't go off plan for the first, I've 5 meals a day that I eat. I was eating 6 for a long time, for years, but I was just getting to the point where I was staying up way too late every night, especially during the school year, to eat my meals. And it became one of those things where I'm I really need to reevaluate what I'm doing here, because I can't be going to bed at 11:15 on a Tuesday because I had to eat my last meal at 10:30 or 10:45. I just can't, that's not sustainable. You know what I mean? I'm not getting sleep. My body's responding. I'm tired. I'm dragging. Just not good. So now I'm at that point where I feel like I've figured out, with 5 meals, that's helped a lot. Even on days like tonight, where I'm going to be up late, probably till about 10:30, eating. Now, luckily, I have a rest day tomorrow, and tomorrow's also Saturday, so I don't have work or anything, and I can sleep in a little bit. But I didn't get up this morning post-Thanksgiving meal till 10 a.m. almost. I've been pretty good with waking and going to bed around the same time lately, minus this previous long weekend with having a wedding in South Carolina. That kind of threw it, but that has been one of my goals with bodybuilding, is starting to get into the minutia, the very specifics of bodybuilding, where I'm really trying to focus on all the controllables, one of them being eating around the same times every day, resting around the same times every day, and then going to bed around the same times every day and waking up at the same time every day, or close to it, a range, maybe a half hour to 60-minute range. So I've been doing, again, I kind of have that set as my one of those dials that I can, turn for sure to get even better with bodybuilding. Again, I've been doing it now for 12 years, and not bodybuilding, but have been training for 12 years and bodybuilding for 5 to 6, I guess 6 now. At this point, 6 years ago would have been my first competition. 6 years, 6 years, this month, coincidentally. And a couple days ago, it would have been 6 years. So it's crazy. It's wild. Seems like it was 2 years ago, not 6. Time flies, man. But yeah, so again, I haven't really been bodybuilding for that long, but have been training for quite some time. And that is one thing that, as you train for longer, bodybuild for longer, you start to really get into all the controllables. What can I control on my day-to-day to make this performance better, make my digestion better, make this better, make that better. And for me, I'm at that point where I'm getting into the very specifics of waking and resting or going to sleep at the same time, or very close to it. So that's kind of my foreseeable goal, to really mess with that and see how much that can help improve. Because I will say this, I slept so hard. I probably last night got, I don't even know, dang near 10 hours of sleep. I've been getting a couple really good nights of sleep lately. Yesterday's shoulders and arms performance was definitely proof of that, because I felt strong as a bull, and there was no refeed or big meal before yet. I was normal eating before yesterday's workout. Obviously afterwards with Thanksgiving, did have some I indulged. I had a couple plates of food, a couple pieces of pie, nothing like world record breaking, but I definitely ate food, you know what I mean? Like, I definitely went and ate some food for sure and had fun. It's Thanksgiving. I'm going to do that. You can choose not to if you don't want to, but I used to be that guy to pack a meal on Thanksgiving, and I realized, I'm like, this is once per year with my family. Like, I'm excited. This is good. I have some tasty food, and then I'm back on track, Friday morning, and I am. But yeah, yesterday's workout was insane. That was probably the best. Well, I haven't really had a lot of shoulders and arms days, but it was definitely the best shoulders and arms day I've had since adding that day into my split and, adjusting my split around that change. So I'm super stoked to hit it again. That same session, continue to progress that session up because it was sick. It was such a good workout. But anyways, yeah, I'm just yapping right now. For this quads day, pretty simple. Again, guys, I think people really like to overcomplicate this, and you can, if you need to, if you feel like you really need to be so specific that overcomplication helps you somehow, then, hey, more power to you. For me, it is pretty straightforward stuff. So we'll have a total of 5 movements. Nothing super crazy. 3 working sets of some single leg lying hamstring curls. 3 working sets of some single leg extensions. 2 working sets of leg press, 2 working sets of hack squat. On that second set of hack squat, I will be supersetting the second set, so that back off set, or if that top set feels good, we'll just rock with that weight again, of course. But that back off set of hack squats will be superset with some body weight sissy squats, and then we have some direct calf work. That's it. That's literally it, Again, I feel people really overcomplicate it, so that creates for me a total of 8 working sets of quads with 3 of hamstrings. Obviously, your glutes are going to get hit, especially in any kind of squatting pattern. But again, I feel like people really overcomplicate it for some reason. Just pick some basic movements and overload them. Get stronger at them. That's kind of it. So it's exactly what I'm going to do. For sure. So yeah, that's the plan, Stan. That's the plan, man. No doubt about it. So we'll get into that. I will definitely be doing a little bit of mobility work beforehand, just a little bit of walk. I like the reverse walk on the treadmill, the reverse incline walk on the treadmill. I've been doing that at like a 10 incline, 1.5 miles to 2 miles an hour at most. I'm not racing on my warm-up. Excuse me, I think I just gave myself the hiccups a little bit. Excuse me. Yeah, definitely not racing anyone on that, just trying to get the knees warmed up. I really focus on pushing my toe up and driving and digging through the knee each time to really flex the knee and flex the quads just above the knee. Just seems to kind of get everything nice and loose. Then again, I do some body weight mobility work. I usually have 4 to 5 different exercises I'll do. Just get started. And then again, guys, with a lot of body parts, what I've been doing, and I've done it for a little while now and I continue to stick to it, is isolation work prior to compound movements, just to make sure that you're ready to go. If you are brand new to the gym, please take this as a piece of advice from a guy who, again, I've done it for 12 years. I'm not an expert. I don't have the best physique in the world by any means, but I do see a lot of potential in my physique still, even at 30 years old. And again, only really bodybuilding for, the past 6 years. I see a lot of potential in my physique, and if I didn't, I probably wouldn't train like I do and train as hard as I do and just train for fun. I probably still would. I'll be honest, I'm lying. I still would. I just love training. I can't help it. But a little piece of advice from an unk, literally, is for those first few years of training, this is just my opinion. If you don't want it, you don't have to train like this, but learn proper form would be the first one, or proper form for you and your body is a better way to put it. Because sometimes you'll see these guys do these crazy eccentrics. Maybe they respond super well to it. Sometimes you'll see guys kind of power through movements pretty quickly and they respond really well to it. Find what works for you. For me, I've found that there are certain movements I really have to focus on the stretch and slow the eccentric down. There are some movements where I prefer touch and go. You know what I mean? Where I'm kind of just, controlling the weight still, but then I'm coming down and touching the chest, for example, or I'm, rowing the weight back or whatever, and it's sort of forward, and then I'm rocketing through. I'm pulling through hard, squeezing, and then, controlling, squeezing, and controlling, and it's a little bit quicker. So first of all, find what tempos and, what have you work for you. They could be within the same workout. You could be doing slow eccentrics and fast ones. It could be 2 different back-to-back movements. You know what I mean? But find, what form is best for you. And I'll be honest with you, and I think a lot of people today probably would not agree with this, or at least from the social media feed that I have. And again, if you don't feel this way, dude, just ignore everything I'm saying. I would really stick to the basics. Really stick to the basics. Chest, incline dumbbell, flat barbell, flat Smith, flat dumbbell, one variation of an incline and flat press, and then maybe like a fly type movement in your push days or in a chest day or upper day or whatever. Stick to the basics. They work. Build those stabilizing muscles. You know what I mean? I'm at the point right now where I'm not overly concerned about using movements that are going to build my stabilizing muscles. Like, I really am going for a look more than functionality. It's one of the reasons I am trying to do as much mobility work as I can in the mornings, and I'm even, thinking about putting it in the evenings as well, just to be more like athletic and functional and moving and like, flexible and all that. But when it comes to training, I like to be dialed in on the muscle group I'm training. You know what I mean? If you're just starting out, do the basics because the basics work. Like, please. Do a barbell back squat, do a Smith machine squat, a hack squat, do a squatting and a leg pressing pattern, and like leg curls and leg extensions, some variation of calves that works well for your physique. You know what I mean? For back, pull downs and rows, more rows than pull downs. If you're really trying to get a thick back, if you're trying to get a wide back, there are some good variations for that in pull up and pull down fashion for sure. But I would say when it comes to like dense, thick back, unless you're doing like thousands of pull-ups, because pull-ups I would argue are one of like those S tier type movements for back, no doubt, especially when done correctly. So unless you're doing that, yeah, rows and pull downs, dude. Like, it's not, again, if you want to get into the specific minutia of the single arm high to low thing, you can, but if you're brand new to it, I don't know if it's necessary. You know what I mean? Like, I really, really, really don't know if it's overly necessary if you're just now getting into it. Shoulders, shoulder press, side lateral. It's just basic stuff, guys. Like, just basic stuff. Arms, the easiest one. Push down to the curl. There you go. Multiple variations for it, all that kind of stuff. But it's like, it's basic stuff that works. Use it for sure. Anyways, I'm yapping to yap. I'm just some old guy, just that thinks he knows more than he does probably. But and do also this too. Like, do what's fun, because if you get bored in the gym in the first year, it's where you see like 99% of like those people, those January 1st people that are like, all right, here we go. And then by December 31st, you see 0 of those same people in the gym. Maybe like 2, you know what I mean? Out of the 50 that, signed up for a gym membership because this is the year. And then you see like 2 of them actually have stuck to it at the end of the year. You know what I mean? Like to start that, following year, so anyways, do what's fun, man. Have fun, find what works for you, and progress it. There you go. Boom. There you go. Build muscle, man. Eat food. Eat good, clean, whole food. So, all right, anyways, I'm yapping to yap. I'm going to get in there, get warmed up, and I will catch you guys for the top set of my first movement, which, again, is just going to be some single leg lying hamstring curls. That's coming at you right about now. All right, so let's get it started, y'all, with the isolation stuff. So we did 3 working sets where each set, by the way, and this is kind of an old school thing to do, but it's just pyramiding down. So a lot of times people will pyramid up in weight. For me, I actually pyramided down. So I did a top set of 8, then used a weight where I did a back off set of, I want to say it was 10 to 12, somewhere in that range, definitely at least 10. And then my third set was a set of closer to 15. I think it was like 14 reps, something like that. So each drop was somewhere between 10 and 20%, but just some single leg lying hamstring curls here. I like working some unilateral stuff, and especially in this session where I have my bigger like compound quad work. Then single leg extensions. You can see when I first kick the weight off, what I do, and this is something I actually stole from a couple guys off Instagram, so I cannot take credit for this, or at least one for sure that I can think of. But essentially, I will like do like a quarter of a rep just to kind of get the motion started. So I'm not starting from a complete dead stop on my leg extensions. This has been a huge help for the knees, for sure. Because those first couple reps, my knee would always bug me because I'd be kind of like, it's like cold starting a car in the winter. It takes a second to warm up. And, being able to kind of kick the weight up a little bit. If you go back to that first rep, you'll see what I mean. And, start the exercise moving a little bit definitely helps. So 3 working sets of both of those first movements, and then we get into the juicy stuff here. This is actually my back off set. So basically my top sets right now, I'm keeping closer to 8 to 10 reps. Sometimes I'll dip closer to 6, but to be honest with you, for legs, I really like that 8 to 15 rep range. That kind of seems to be the sweet spot for me. Sometimes even a little bit higher, depending on how deep of an isolation movement we're doing. Like if it's like a single leg glute movement off a cable, like I'll do 15 or 20 reps, no doubt, and just squeeze the crap out of the glutes and get them burning. Or calves, same thing. I'll do those sometimes in higher rep ranges, but yeah, leg press here. So this is my back off set. It was a solid 10 reps, which is cool. I was super happy with that. And then again, previous to this, we had done a top set of 8 at 50 pounds heavier than this. So this was a 10% drop. So almost exactly a 10% drop actually. So yeah, was super stoked about this, and felt good. Again, nice deep range of motion, really driving those heels down as far as they could comfortably go without overcompensating too much, and going from there. So then you gotta look kind of close here. Well, it's probably pretty evident, but we have a close foot heel elevated hack squat. That is a mouthful. Moral of the story, it's just having a slight heel elevation. You can use squat shoes for this. For me, I don't have squat shoes. You can use a plate. I have a 2x4 that I use, and it feels awesome. You can see how far the knees are traveling over the toes. This is very much so if you are trying to use a hack squat to build specifically your quads. If you're trying to build the whole leg, I would recommend doing a little bit of a wider stance. Not wide, but wider than I have it. Maybe even angling the toes slightly far out and having the feet higher up on the platform and just loading as much weight as possible. For me, this is very much so specific to quad growth. So anyways, I did do 2 sets of this exercise as well. Actually, the same weight. I ended up doing a rep match, so I did 2 sets of 8 with this top weight, so that felt really good. And then we did do 3 working sets of calves, but nobody wants to see calves. So I'll see you in the outro. Leg A session in the books, and man, she was a doozy. But again, for 5 exercises, you think like, oh, you only have to do 5 exercises. But man, I'll tell you what, by the time I got through those first 4, it was like, thank God I'm getting into calves. Got a raspberry cream ghost with me here. Love it. Absolutely phenomenal. Ooh. There we go. Absolutely phenomenal. So I already had my blended meal a little bit ago. Cup of oats, scoop and a quarter, kind of weird, of whey isolate, grass-fed whey isolate, or I have like a microfiltered whey isolate too. I try to get relatively high quality protein powder, to be honest. Like protein powder, I will usually invest a few more dollars in, put it that way, rather than get some just off-brand, who knows what it has in it, kind of, whey isolate. So, yeah, scoop and a quarter whey isolate, 60 grams of frozen spinach, 120 grams of frozen blueberries, and 130 grams of banana with a gram of pink salt, all just blended with water. So generally on a work day, that is my second meal of the day. My blended meal, because I can just have it in between classes because I can just drink it. But during the weekend, or when I have time off for the holidays, it is my immediate post-workout meal. And I have that with, because I have it 3 times a day, I have fish oil and a digestive enzyme. My first 3 meals of the day, I have fish oil, digestive enzyme. So I do still have 2 more meals. I'll be up a little bit later, but I also, for how late I slept in, I won't be up too late, so that's good. Eating, still probably be done with all my meals before 11, which again is later than I would want, but I slept in big time. I slept like a rock this morning. I was out after all that food last night, dude. Literally, my wife and I got home, and it was just like, let's get the kiddo ready for bed, and we are zonked at that point, But yeah, phenomenal leg session. Again, a few adjustments, kind of just getting back into the routine of working out in my basement gym. I don't know why I ever changed up my schedule. I will say though, it opened my eyes to how I can train too, and what I can do to benefit my own training and recovery. So having a much more quad biased day for sure. I did 3 direct sets of hamstring right at the beginning, and obviously in both leg press and in squats, I don't care what anybody says, you're going to use your hamstrings at least to an extent. Are you training hamstrings directly? No, but you're absolutely going to use them within those patterns, a squatting pattern, a leg press pattern. You're absolutely going to use your hamstrings, no doubt. So very direct work, very isolation-based movement start, doing those, it was 3 working sets of single leg lying hamstring curls, 3 working sets of single leg extensions, because we'll have a dual leg extension, just 1 set in my leg B session. So a little bit of direct quad stimulus. And then right into leg press, today, 2 sets there, and 2 sets of some close foot heels elevated hack squats. Felt phenomenal, by the way. And I'll tell you what, I had a sweet little surprise here, and it just goes to show what the human mind is capable of. Okay, when you think, you know, you have a certain amount of weight on, and then all of a sudden you realize you have a lot more on. I thought on the hack squat I was doing 2 plates and a quarter on each, and very like happy with that, to be honest with you. I was like, all right, yeah, this feels pretty smooth. And I did like a top set of 8, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna work with this weight one more time. Like I should be able to hit this for 6 to 8 again, like no problem. Did a second set of 8. I get off to the left side of the hack squat, peel off a 25-pound plate, so I'm gonna put a 45 back on to start to get into calves. So I have like 3 plates on each side. Put that plate back on, walk around to the other side. There's 3 plates on there already with the 25. So I had slid the 25 right over a 3rd plate. So I thought I was doing like 285 on the hack squat because the sled itself is 55 pounds. No, I wasn't doing 285. I was doing 335. Huh, look at that. Yeah, or 330, sorry, 330. So needless to say, yeah, I was stoked, man. I was going 45 pounds heavier than I thought I was. I was like, sweet. And I did that for 2 sets of 8. So I was like, okay, awesome. Thank you, legs. Like, sweet. Great job. So that was cool. And then 3 sets of calves. I will have to add weight now because I did 3 sets of over 15 reps, which I'll add like maybe 10 pounds. Yeah. Maybe a little bit more. We'll see. But yeah, I did like 22 reps, 20 reps, and then like 17 reps after that. So yeah, I did a few reps of calves, but it was perfect for him though. It felt really good. Got that. Calves sometimes, man, I'll tell you what, they'll play with your head a little bit because like when you're doing like a squat, like it's not even like, I don't really get like a burn from a squat. Like I do, but it's a different kind of burn. Like from a squat, I'm usually just like I'm feeling it. I'm just gassed. You know what I mean? When I'm squatting, like especially into those later reps, I'm like, you got to really just like tune in and lock in. With calves, it's not like I was using like 700 pounds on calves, which actually still isn't really like that much weight, to be honest with you. Calves can handle a lot. But it's like when you're doing a set of 20 and you've done like 10, 12, 15 perfect reps, you know what I mean? Sit in the stretch for a moment, sit in the fully, shortened position as well when you're like pointing the toes out. And it just burns. You know what I mean? It just burns. It's like you can keep going. Like you have more in the tank, but it just burns. And it's such an uncomfortable feeling. I love it. It's great. So yeah, so it was a great session. Again, very simple stuff, guys. Please don't overcomplicate training. Like you don't got to do a bunch of isolation stuff unless you need to. Like, again, I mean, I shouldn't say that because I started out with more isolation work, but do your basics still. Do some heavy leg press. Do some heavy squats. Find a squat pattern that works well for you. For me, I am very much so doing a hack squat pattern that is absolutely meant to bias the quads. Like close feet, only like 4 to 6 inches apart. And I was using like a 2x4, so I was elevating my heels on the platform as well a little bit, and literally just going all the way down. And the knees are so far over the toes, it's crazy, But it's just one of those things where, again, I don't know. Just do the basic stuff. Do the basic stuff. You know what I mean? Like when I train hamstrings, next week with hamstrings with a little bit of quads. So still get that little twice a week stimulus. See what I'm saying? But it's not a ton. You know what I mean? Lee Haney, stimulate, don't annihilate. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do a full quad and hamstring workout and then do a full quad and hamstring workout again. You can if you want to, and I've done it before in the past. But for me right now, like I really like splitting those up a little bit more. Where it's like, okay, we have a lot of quad work here, and then we have a lot of hamstring and glute work here. I like that. With still a little carryover between the 2 muscle groups though, so you still get that stimulus, for multiple times per week rather than just once a week. So yeah. But anyways, hey, great session, guys. Absolutely loved it. Phenomenal stuff. Felt awesome. Felt strong. Obviously felt a little stronger than I thought with with those hack squats. And yeah, it was excellent, man. It was really cool. Really cool. So that's all I got, man. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Guys, means a lot to me. It means a lot to the continued growth of the channel. If you liked the video, make sure you drop it a like. If you have any comments, questions, feedback, anything like that, make sure you drop those down in the comment section below. When I see them, I absolutely will respond to them. Hey guys, above everything else, God bless. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and for watching. If you want to work with me one-on-one as a coach, whether it's on a month-to-month basis or you just need my ever so famous, not at all famous, it's not like a million people have bought these. It'd be sweet if they did. But if you need a $50 diet plan or $50 training plan or $75 diet and training plan, one that I can guarantee will absolutely help you from where you're at right now, you will make progress. I love it. I put a ton of time and passion into those plans, man. They're not just some like pre-scripted BS thing. I give a lot of flexibility in those, and I promise you, I can help you make progress from where you're at now, no matter what. So, anyways, if you want to hit me up though, make sure you reach out to me at the Natty Teacher, all lowercase on Instagram or TikTok. Or you can hit me up at my professional email, just at thenattyteacher@gmail.com. And I got it linked right to my phone, so it comes in like a text message. So if you need to get me that way, I can get back to you pretty quick. And if it is before 8 p.m., I can get it to you the same day. Pretty crazy stuff. Anyways, hey, I appreciate you guys tuning in again and watching. And for myself, the Natty Teacher, and the entire Natty family, hopefully y'all had the most awesomest, not a word, Thanksgiving ever. Now we're looking forward to Christmas, baby. Christmas season is upon us. God bless y'all. Catch you on the next one. Peace!